What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I am at the Tokyo Motorcycle Show 2023. It is March the 25th today. So it's a Saturday and basically the second day of the Tokyo Motorcycle Show. I am going to be doing this as two parts. One part I'll probably be doing a vlog, but as you can see, even though there is no specific mask mandate in Japan to begin with, everybody wears a mask. So I am having a bit of difficulty just trying to speak with this damn thing on, unlike how I am in Singapore. So I will split this into two parts. The vlog part will be a bit short and I will be doing it in small little segments as and when I see particularly interesting booths with interesting content for me to show to you. And then the second part will probably just be B-rolls and the very few booth babes that I managed to take videos of while I was walking around the first time. But since now I'm on my second round, I can probably have a better idea of what are the interesting parts to show you. Alright, so behind me, I'm not sure if you can see, this is the Kawasaki manufacturer booth. Look at the crowd. Basically, most of the crowd, they're just lining up to take a look at the latest flagship models that are being presented on the Kawasaki booth. Behind, most of the time you are able to see the rest of the standard stuff that Kawasaki is offering, but the main line, look at it, it's fucking crazy. So many people going on around here. So this is going to be pretty much how most of the Tokyo MCS is going to look like. It's very crowded here. It's right now almost 12:30 in the afternoon. I came about 10 and it was even more crowded back then. Now it's died down a bit, but as you can see, there's still quite a huge crowd. Taking footage in the Tokyo MCS is not particularly easy. So if you really want to experience it, you really do have to come in the following year, next year or the year after you are able to. But otherwise, I am trying to do my best to take as much footage that is clear and easy for you to see as possible. Alright, so over here we have the DID racing team. You know, DID, they do make the chains for motorcycles. So over here, as we see, there's always a EVA 01 Trickstar display. And this year for DID, the reason why this bike is at this booth is because of the co-branded motorcycle chains in purple and green to represent, of course, the EVA 01 model from the Evangelion anime series. So of course, if you're into you know, the cafe racer lifestyle apparel, there are a lot of apparel companies that are displaying right now. I'm just going to be showing a bit from the outside. It's a bit crowded as usual. This is just one form of apparel store that's around here right now, and I kind of like the aesthetic of this particular company. It's not that bad, but as usual, it's a bit pricey, I would say. But considering how apparel that is sold here isn't really brought back to Singapore, I think it's sometimes worth the effort to come down and take a look and shop for something you like if you're interested. Now, of course, the ladies over here, they are not forgotten. There is always a section at every single Tokyo Motorcycle Show event that will showcase all the apparel, jackets, pants, boots that are catered and fitted to the shape and form of a lady's body. as most female riders probably know, it's always a nice thing to see female apparel being represented in a motorcycling event or motorcycle show, primarily because that just because even though a lot of women do wear men's or unisex gear, it's not really the ideal situation. The way the torso of a man and a woman is formed is often different, and it can be a bit uncomfortable. So being able to come into here and buy something that is catered to you and your body shape is of course quite amazing. So in recent years, in the Tokyo Motorcycle Show and in the Japanese climate in general, there has been quite a huge trend towards selling on the adventure lifestyle. Yes, a lot of the bikes being showcased here, they are street bikes, but at the same time, a lot of vendors here, they are showcasing a lot of tiny accessories, apparel, and other accoutrements that are designed for going on a little camping trip or an adventure trip on, say, a motorcycle or a camper unit. And I think that's probably due to the fact that there was the popularity of this anime called Eurocam a couple of years ago that kind of popularized the whole outdoors living. Now, in front of me, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Of course, the guest over there, he is on microphone. It's a bit loud, but I'm going to bring you over so I can talk about other stuff while I'm filming the tires. Primarily, one of the things that is great about coming to the MCS, particularly if you are an industry player, please, industry players in Singapore, please take note when you organize the Singapore Bike Show ever again. Things like this, having guests and experts talk about the latest technology is quite interesting. I mean, I don't really speak Japanese or understand Japanese in my own right, but something like this does happen in EICMA as well, all the time. And I wish the Singapore Bike Show would take a page out of this in future if they ever come back. Alright, so I'm not sure if you can see for the Grab riders, Grab food delivery riders, if you are very interested in protecting your phone, because back home we are a very rainy country, this would be quite useful. Basically, you have a hood that clamps down onto your handlebar. Most of you already have something like this, a phone mount. But very few of you actually have something that is purpose-built to protect against the elements, especially if you don't have a waterproof mount. Something like this allows you to shade against the sun as well as against the rain, so you can have very clear view of your camera while you're taking orders or whatever. Of course, the price of this is not exactly very cheap, but I think it's a worthwhile investment for any one of you who is in the line of delivering food and you need something to shelter your phone. Of course, the phone is probably going to cost a lot more than just this 4,000, 5,000 yen for a cover. One more thing, I always love to come to the Tokyo MCS because of that. So one thing that is very common in the Tokyo MCS is the fact that there are a lot of riding clubs in Japan, and they have their own publications, their own branding, and they do have they do set up booths here to share their club activities, recruit more members, as well as showcase their latest adventures in various publications. And of course, they do have branded apparel as well. It's sort of a very Japanese thing to corporatize or basically monetize a club and whatever activities that they take on their usual trips. But I guess there's a very big difference between the kind of clubs that's run in Singapore and the clubs that are run in Japan. Most clubs in Japan, they tend to be more like a corporate entity with a very distinct leadership, planning, logistics management for the enjoyment of the members when they go on road trips and such. But in the case of Singaporean clubs, they tend more to be on the social aspect between a couple of loosely knit friends. So there's a bit of a cultural difference there when it comes to this. That's why you don't generally see motorcycle clubs putting up booths in the middle of Singapore Bike Show, for example. Whereas over here, it's a totally different story. So, another thing that has been popping up quite commonly in this particular iteration of the Tokyo Motorcycle Show, the Tokyo Motorcycle Show 2023, as you can see, these are Energica bikes. They are not the only electric motorcycle manufacturer that's being showcased here. It is quite a huge step in recent years with regards to the development and the promotion, marketing of electric motorcycles here in Japan. And I think the uptake, the interest over here is a lot higher than I would say in the US, I think. As far as I can see in terms of the reaction, while for example the Energica booth right here, you don't really see that many people are browsing the bikes compared to, let's say, one of the big four manufacturers over there. But there is quite a huge interest. I mean, if you take a look, you've got two grey-haired men. The kind of demographic, if you were, say, in the US or America, they wouldn't be interested in this kind of a newfangled technology, prefer old-fashioned, old-style motorcycles. But over here, there is genuinely a huge interest in electric motorcycles. So over here we have, this booth belongs to a company called Minami Motorcycle Cafe Racer. They are a custom bike builder. The ones right in front of us, there's a Honda, a 1999 CB750 Honda. Right behind the front, I'm not sure. It could be an R90. I'm not very sure myself. But back home, it's a bit rare to see motorcycles like this because for the most part, custom builds to this particular level of modification is kind of illegal back home. But if you are in the US or Europe where this sort of things are illegal, sometimes it's a very good idea to come down over to Tokyo, to Tokyo MCS. They usually will have a flyer or two with a full build breakdown of what components, what parts went into this particular bike's build that they are more than happy to share with you. And you can take a look at the parts list, assuming you can read some basic Japanese, of course, and take inspiration from what they've already done and use it to apply to your own custom builds at home. So I am right now under this booth called Arch. I am pretty sure this is another custom builder. They are probably a larger company that specializes in I think the Z1 or Z900. But in particular, a lot of this custom builder booths, they are specialized in probably one or two models or motorcycles. In the Tokyo MCS at the moment, the current outlook on the most popular modified motorcycle right now in Japan, at least amongst these builders, is probably the Kawasaki Z900. I believe it's really due to the fact that the Z900 by itself is already a rather nice looking retro model with a lot of real estate to show off real custom builds. So you can actually see the amount of work that went into, for example, this particular Z900 RS. I think it's been upboard by 48cc's with a lot of crash protection, chrome, new rear sets, a new exhaust, new brake hoses, brake reservoirs, and the like, including a very beautiful tank and paint job, as well as a nicely worked leather seat as well. A lot of people over there trying on new helmets, and over here we have the 2021 Superbike World Championship helmet, gold, incredibly beautiful. Would be nice if you could actually buy one of this as a replica, but I'm assuming right now this thing is just for display. Nice looking stunt built by Hiroyuki Ogawa. If you know him, he's been in Singapore at the Singapore bike show a couple of times. I filmed him when he was there in Singapore taking part in the stunts. You remember him? He was back in Singapore a couple of times.
Singapore?
Yes. You were back in Singapore?
From Singapore?
Well, I'm from Singapore.
Singapore.
Yes. You came a couple of times to the Singapore bike show.
Exactly.
Yes, I remember you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's Singapore motorcycle show, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, Triumph Singapore?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they invite me to the Singapore motorcycle show, and I made many times stunt show. Yeah, and I think you have watched this motorcycle, right?
Yes.
Yes. Exactly same design, right?
The color is a bit different.
Really?
The paint job
Yeah.
different, but it's the same bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this design by Mr. Ma. Mr. Ma is president of Singapore Triumph.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And they designed this fairing, and they give me this decal. They give me this decal. So that's why same design.
Ah, okay. This is a very nice, iconic bike. I think a lot of us in Singapore, we've seen this before already. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah. Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Japan.
Yes, I'm enjoying my time here as well. Over here, we got a little nice representation of the Ducati ZX. Again, this is pretty much another place where they are selling a lot of adventure motorcycle gear. This is a nice little old replica for display, but as you can see, a lot of adventure gear as well. Now, I think a lot of you are probably interested in taking a look at their flagship S1000s from BMW, but I'm gonna bring you over to the corner if I can squeeze my way through this crowd. When I said that there is quite a bit of development in the electric motorcycle market, I'm not kidding. Even BMW has been getting in on the electric scooter market with this. This is the CE04, belt driven, electric as far as I can tell. Very futuristic design, quite nice. I'm not particularly sure if it will ever be brought into Singapore. As you can see, 15 kilowatt motorcycle, 1,950,000 yen. That is $19,500 for a BMW scooter. So I am here at the Ducati booth. I am terribly sorry that I can't really get a single shot for you guys back home. Ducati is another very popular booth to be around. Of course, very nice bikes as usual. All they have is a Diavol and Multistrada over there. A bit hard to get a clear shot. Multistrada. It's a bit sad that the official Ducati booth did not showcase the Desert X, while adventure company that was selling adventure apparel has the mock-up of Desert X at their booth. This particular booth, you can see by the number of people that are crowding around it. I managed to take a couple of good B-roll that overlay probably this segment. This is a showcase for a replica of Takeshi Hongo's motorcycle from the 50th anniversary Kamen Rider movie. For any one of you that is interested in tokusatsu and motorcycles in general, I recommend that you actually find a way to watch that movie. It's a very good movie actually. It's been updated quite a bit to be a bit more mature, to follow the age trends of the audiences that have now probably grown up to be in their 50s or 60s by now. Tamiya back every single year at the Tokyo MCS with more of their very detailed models. Another good place to take a look at their latest offerings really. So over there, they have a remote control operated little toy that the boy is controlling. It's a product that's being sold as well over here. Quite interesting to take a look at. A bit harder than it looks trying to control it with a controller considering its three wheels and it leans. Behind me, of course, the latest few motorcycles that the Tokyo police use for their enforcement duties. Of course, they do have this booth literally every single year. They're always here every single year with a little backdrop at the back to show the kinds of motorcycle models they use throughout their history as, motorcycle cops. And of course, out here, this is generally where a lot of the safe riding campaign and riding schools and riding instructors set up booths over here. There's a main stage right now. Of course, right now there is no program as of now. But even then, there's quite a lot of people just hanging out at the desk in front to chill out and wait for the next program to come up. So over here, I am at this booth called Over Racing. I believe it's another dealership. But as you can see right here, they are even showcasing e-bikes. Now, during my trip over here in Tokyo, it's another trend that I've been noticing as well. The proliferation of e-bikes over here is quite big as well. Now, if you thought that the amount of e-bikes that has been circulating on the roads in Singapore, back in Singapore, you've not seen the kind of e-bike population that's been going on in Japan in general, particularly in Tokyo, where they can actually afford it and where it's actually quite useful. Over here, this is a mid-drive mountain bike made by Yamaha, of course, and it's customized a bit with the pedals and a chain guard. And you see this a lot more often here than you will find back in Singapore. So back in Singapore, we do have quite a bit of a mountain bike community, but most are still quite obsessed with the purity of not having a motor when you do climbs. But down here, I think it's an okay thing in general. So over here, this section, I think it's basically where they are showing a bunch of pit bikes. These are meant for children, of course, age maybe 2 to 4. Once they are 5 or 6, probably wouldn't reasonably be able to fit on it, but it's fucking hilarious to watch adults try to even get on it. The ones at the back, I think they are just regular small displacement motorbikes like the CBR 150R. From the looks of it, it looks like the suspension has been lowered. So this corner is mostly showcasing some stuff that women and children can actually ride. So of course women, they are just regular humans like us, it's just that they are a bit shorter on average. So the bikes here are lowered to fit that particular demographic. So CR 150R over here generally has a higher suspension, but as you can see over here, it's been lowered probably about 5 millimeters or so to accommodate a lower height. It's another segment that I personally like to take video of. She's good looking and the bike is even more beautiful looking. There's a Rebel 250 2023 model, nice red paint job on the tank, matching the outfit of course. Over here, I'm at the Hyosung motorcycle booth. In front of me here is the GV250 Cruiser. Now something that has been developing quite commonly in the previous few years that I've started to notice is the popularity, or rather the explosion on the use of keyless ignition systems. Now as you can see over here with the GV250, there is no key slot. It's a keyless ignition system. And it's something that's used on the modern C125 Honda Cup as well. Usually in the past, keyless ignition systems like this tended to be on more expensive, larger premium models. But in recent years, there has been quite a move into putting keyless ignition systems into smaller bikes. The one over here is a 125, but that one still uses a traditional key ignition. But there's a possibility that in future, Hyosung may even include a keyless ignition system into their 125 as well. So over here, Kijima Parts and Accessories. This is a CT125 Hunter Cup. I rode this during the 4-5 days while I was here in Tokyo. And these are fully modified to have proper racks, proper saddlebags, a front rack as well for the long distance trip rider. As I did mention quite a while ago, there has been a huge boom and popularity in the adventure segment. Anything that screams the freedom of the road, adventure into unknown, relatively unknown lands, I would say, as far as unknown can be done in Japan actually, has been quite popular over here really. This is a rather extreme example of bike packing. You've got a top trunk, two side bags, and with the ST125, the mid tube is able to accommodate another 2 more smaller little bags as well as the front. Over here, a more traditional Rebel. This is Honda's booth. They have a small carousel of their most up-to-date, most recent small displacement motorcycles, the Rebel, the C125, the Monkey, as well as the CBR. If I'm not wrong, that's the 150. And the fun thing about manufacturer booths in the Tokyo Motorcycle Show is the fact that there's a lot of availability, a lot of opportunity for audience participation. I mean, this is probably no replacement for actually a test ride on one of these motorcycles, but I guess in an indoor setting, it could be a good replacement and a good photo op for you if you want to hang out around these kind of places. This is a brand called M Boot. I was particularly piqued rather, by the design of the bags that this company produces. So they've got front mounted bags as well as saddle bags. Most of these are, I wouldn't say full grain leather, but they feel very high quality with turn lock straps. Very low chance of failure. Very simple kind of construction. Kind of like this actually. Something interesting to take a look at in the future. Over here, not sure what the brand is called. I think it's Titanium Power. But over here, the most important thing I wanted to take a look at is this. These are bolts. They are, as of right now, they are for the 900 RS. As I mentioned, for some reason, there's a lot of Z900 modification parts this year, and I have no idea why, but I do wish there were more of these titanium bolts flying around the market for various models to replace strip bolts, strip threads, that sort of thing. This company also sells radiator guards milled from titanium. As you can see, it is very lightweight and it's also very good looking to boot. I am now at the Idea booth, and this lady over here is on a electric scooter. Now this particular booth in general, it appeared in our Singapore bike shows are so boring that I can't even remember what it's called. But this particular model was at my last video. The idea was at the show. I think it was showcased by one of the distributors that brought this in, and they did mention it was a Japanese brand. So now all of these are electric. Okay, as of right now, they seem to mostly be cargo scooters, 3-wheel, 2-wheel, but mostly fitted with a larger cargo bay with a front trunk at the very bare minimum on the base model. I personally think that the recent developments in electric scooters for practical usage is quite good. Something like this is actually a good idea if we manage to bring it into Singapore, homologate it for our country, because first of all, this is a very light bike. It's got a lot of cargo space, a lot of foot space, plus being a scooter, it of course shields you from the rain. And for those of you who are a bit wary or not very skilled in riding a full-size motorcycle, a lot of this really feels like it's driving a car. I mean, it's no replacement for an actual brake pedal, rear brake pedal on a regular motorcycle, but it feels like a car's brake pedal over there. Of course, they still do have the regular front brake But what I like about the models being shown by Idea over here is the fact that the charging port seems to at least be right at the front over here with very easy access for most people. Now I was looking at the BMW CE4 over the other side, and I couldn't find the charging port quite easily. The Energica as well also had a bit of difficulty looking for the charging port, particularly with the Ego. The SA and the Rebel was quite obvious, was under the seat, but the Ego was a bit hard to find. I assume it would have been under the pillion seat as well, but that would require you to open up the rear seat and then find a place to mount it and to stop it getting lost. Over here we have the booth for Cake, another electric motorcycle firm. Most of these look very small. They tend to be something along the lines of a Sur-Ron. It's very, very similar to a Sur-Ron, particularly with this. But the big difference is that it seems most of the models that Cake is offering right here on the show floor right now, they tend to be a bit more utilitarian focused. I mean, in terms of aesthetics, it's a hit or miss. It depends on the kind of person you are. Some people would consider it horribly hideous. To me, there's a bit of simplistic Scandinavian charm to it. I'm not even sure if Cake is a Scandinavian company, but there is a bit of that IKEA feel to it. So a step-through frame, very similar to the kind of bikes, especially if you're used to something like a Super Cup. And underbone in general, you've got something like this. Then they even have a trim for cargo hauling with a large back plate and a front plate. And then if we were to go over here, you get a standard size motorcycle, more of a supermoto kind of a format going on here, but more or less a standard size. Now, one thing I noticed about the Cake motorcycles is I believe most of the parts related to the bike itself is intended to be modular. You buy a particular bike with a particular frame design that you want, and then you can outfit it with different kinds of seat attachments. So if you want to have a single seat or two seats, you can have them on a single bike. You can have different kinds of battery loadouts. You can have either an extra large battery, a smaller size battery, or a standard size battery. And the headlights also seem to be mounted in a modular fashion so that you can change them out as and when you would like. Personally, in terms of motorcycle design, I think this is something that ought to be considered by more manufacturers, because modularity improves the viability of eco-friendly efforts when you can easily switch out broken components on your own without having to send it into a shop, wasting petrol in the process, as well as possibly some bikes in this day and age, they have integrated systems, and if it spoils, you end up having to trash the entire bike and getting a new one instead of just fixing the actual problem at hand. So that is pretty much most of the content that the important content that I wanted to show you on this little trip. What I've showed you is probably only about 10-20% of the entire show floor. 2023's Tokyo Motorcycle Show is occupying 4 halls over 2 levels, and there is a lot of things to see that I can't cover in a single video. So what I would actually recommend is that if you are interested in taking a look at what is going on, my glasses are getting fogged up, is to actually come down here next year or the year after and actually take a look at it for yourself, because there is no replacement for being here physically to actually experience the show for yourself at least once in your lifetime as a motorcycle fan anywhere in the world. Or if you're European, you could just go to EICMA. Forgot to say that if you like this video, do remember to give me the like and thumbs up and a subscribe. It's been so long since I did a video. What do I need you to do? Ring the bell icon down below. And I'm gonna roll the B-roll right now, you know, all the other shots that I took. And I hope you enjoyed this video. See you, bye bye.